Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to our Raw podcast. I'm Jackie H, your host, and I have here my co-host Gail Barron. How you doing today, sis?
I'm doing well
You doing
yourself.
well? Okay, you talking real low. You must have been out there in the sun and
Just
so
a few.
just for a
That's
few
all.
minutes.
That's
Okay.
all.
Well, we're gonna talk about restoration. You see who's on the screen here,
I
right?
do.
We,
I
we got
do.
we got we got our cousin here, lady that I know. I got to know from. I knew her sisters in them first. I knew her brother Kevin and Valerie. Practically the whole
Whole
family from North Philly,
family.
right? But
Yeah.
they told me that one of my cousins was dating one of the twins' sister. I didn't know they had another sister, right? But
She's a
that's it.
baby. She's a
She's a
baby.
baby.
She's a
Okay.
baby.
Well, I let you tell a little bit about it. Then we're gonna talk to Dana for a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Dana Hill was born and educated in Philadelphia. She's married, mother of four. Dana earned both bachelor and master's degrees in social work from Temple University and has been employed with the city of Philadelphia for 19 years.
Wow.
Dana has turned her love for traveling the world into a successful business
Hmm.
as a travel advisor with IntelliTravel. Intel Travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dana, we want to welcome you to the Raw Podcast. Thank you for honoring us to come on. How you doing today, sis?
I'm doing well. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know when I started seeing all these pictures of you traveling everywhere. I was like, well, she got to tell us how we gonna get these getaways and escape and get some vacation time. And so I'm glad I'm glad to talk to you a little bit. My sister Gail is into this. She like traveling too. So we're gonna pick your brains a little bit, but you can tell us how to get away and sit on these beaches and wherever Dubai and wherever you've been going. Man, Gail, she be doing it. You know, like one time I seen her, she was on a camel. I was like, Dana, where was this at? Tell me about what is this?
That was in Egypt for my 50th birthday. I decided that I wanted,
What?
to do something big. So I went to Egypt and Dubai.
Okay, all right. You know, I'm
So
just
that
picking
is
with you.
in the Egyptian desert.
Okay, well, she got up on the camel's back. What I want to ask you is, what do vacation and getting away do for a person? Why is it so important to have vacation and go get away sometimes?
It's important, at least for me, to have something to de-escalate. Life be lifing. And,
Yeah.
depending on what people do for work, with me, I'm a supervisor at the Department of Human Services. So, with my job, I am charged with, keeping the children of Philadelphia safe from abuse and neglect. So that in itself can be very taxing on you emotionally, right? I know a lot of other
Yes.
people's jobs can be very taxing on them emotionally and some physically as well. So vacationing to me gave me something to look forward to, gave me just a place of peace
Yeah.
sometime, and just stepping out of my comfort zone, stepping out of Philly, stepping out of the country to explore, to see what's out there.
Okay.
So
Well,
what made you get into travel? I know
Well,
you probably like to travel, but I see now that you made it a bit of business. So what was the transition to that?
when I was traveling, I think the first couple of places that I went to was Jamaica. So right after I got my master's degree, the day after, I was on a plane to Jamaica. And then I had went back the next year with, some coworkers. And I said, I am going to do this every year. And I want to learn how to travel at a discounted rate. So I'm going to find a way to do that. And becoming a travel advisor was my way of doing that. And it was also a way for me to learn the business and to be able to offer it to other people who travel Even the, people who is the main one or the designated one that books travel for the family for whatever trips they're going on. So if that's you and I was doing it, I might as well, get paid to do it. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
I hear you. I want to
Hmm.
back it up for a minute. I know we started right out in the travel business, but I want to know a little bit about you and how you got to where you at, even in your job that you work today professionally. Uh, who is Dana? Uh, the girl that was 10 years old through 15. Did you have these dreams? Who was that person at that age?
From 10 to 15,
Yeah, doing that,
I was
teenager. Yeah.
teenager. Well, I was a basic teenager, in North Philly. I, went to Catholic school. I was very, I had a strict upbringing. I wasn't a child, that hung out. No spending the night over, nobody's house. It was school, home, and church.
Oh
And
wow.
that's all. That's all it was, until I became, became an adult. I
Okay.
rarely, went out, went outside because I had everything, that I needed inside of the house. So I was, grew up very introverted, I think.
Okay. And by you being the baby, did that play a factor in it? Are you the baby of the family?
I am the baby of the family, and being the baby of the family, you get to see a lot. As far as my brothers versus my sisters,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
growing up, I grew up with, my nieces and nephews. So I have a niece, she and I are a year apart. I have a nephew, he and I are 2 years apart, and they're all, stair steps. So I grew up, with my nieces and, and my nephews. Having such a large family, because there was nine of us, taught me, some things to do, things not to do, um, and consequences, to actions.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So how does that introvert work with a big family?
How does that work? Oh wow. It worked. I mean, it worked well for me. Being introverted, I liked being with me. I'm a cool person, I didn't need to be around a lot of people to have a good time. I could go shopping by myself. I could treat myself to lunch. I've been on vacations, by myself. So I didn't need to be around a lot of people to enjoy myself. It was just,
Wow.
a decision because I'm with me all the time. So I
Okay.
had to enjoy spending time, by myself. My siblings were, when I got here, my oldest brother was around like 15. So I didn't really grow up with them the way, most
Okay.
siblings, grow up. Everybody's, a year, 2 years apart. My brother Terry and I were like 9 years apart, and the twins we're 10 years apart, so they have already grown up by the time
Okay.
I came
Okay.
around. So really the only people that I had to grow up with was the people on Marshall Street and my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
So
All right.
mm.
So moving forward past 15, what was your decision, or how did you get to college? What was that something that you always wanted to do, or was it suggested to you? How you went further? What was that like in North Philly?
In North Philly. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't grow up around college graduates. That was just like
Right.
never really, something that, entered our minds. You graduated high school and you went to work, or if, you were female, you got married and, you started a family. And I didn't go to the neighborhood public school. I went, to Catholic school. So I really didn't want to go to college. I was just tired of school. I went to school, for 13 years. I did community college for a while, but I was just, at that time just so spoiled that if I didn't have to do it, I didn't do it. you know um and then, I met your cousin. And then, I got married. I started, my own family. And that was, where my focus was, being available for my children, being available, for my husband. And that um was my life for a long time.
Oh, so
And
you
then,
didn't go to college right after school?
well, I did for like maybe a semester or two, and it was just
Okay.
like, college it just wasn't for me. I was still young. I
Okay.
graduated high school at 17, and that transition from, high school to college was a real culture shock for me. It wasn't, something that I was used to, having to be responsible, for my own education, as far as getting up, going to school, doing, the work without somebody having, to tell me to do it. I just really wasn't, prepared. And I just really didn't want to go. I didn't see the
Okay.
need for education beyond high school, really at that time.
She said
So,
that she didn't have to do it. She wasn't gonna do it.
no, it and in some I'm trying to get better. In some respects, I'm trying to really to separate that from that mentality, because when you grow up, when everything is given to you and you don't earn it, you don't understand the value of it. So I
Yes,
Right.
really
ma'am.
didn't have to, work after school. My father gave me everything,
Right.
that I needed. My father
Okay.
took care of me. So that's what I was used to. I didn't, wow, I didn't have to work. My father worked. I didn't have to go and earn this. My father gave it to me. So it was just like, if I don't have to do it, I'm not doing it. And,
Well,
that's the
let
way,
me ask you a
it was for
question.
me.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Then you went and
Hmm.
got married. Did that same thing transpire that you was taken care of and you ain't had to do it, or you
No, that stopped because, being a wife and mother, even a young wife and mother, your needs, what you want to do, and even what you feel like doing, um,
right?
it stops. It becomes, your children
Uh,
and your husband and the family. That, other than
okay,
God, that's what's first. So
right.
during that period, I had to learn to do some things, that I didn't want to do.
Okay,
And it didn't always feel good, but being a mother and a wife will definitely teach you how to come out of your comfort zone.
That's
okay,
true.
all right. So
Hmm.
you accept you went through that. So then you decided at a point to go back to school, but to get your
I
bachelor's and
did.
not master's. Okay. So what
Well,
caused that?
being a young wife and mother, the only thing that I knew how to do was, be married and have babies. That's it.
Okay.
Those were the only two things that I was doing and could do.
Okay.
And I just looked at myself one day and I said, you know what? I am not going to have another baby. I am going to change my life, because that was all that I saw myself as. So I was determined to go back to school. So I did that. And I mean, when I was at community, I worked hard and I graduated with honors. And during that time when I was in school, my father passed away. So I had to, leave for a semester and then come and then go back. Now, usually when something doesn't work out for me the first time, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it no more. I'm done, because everything's supposed to be perfectly in order. And if it doesn't work out the way I think it should, then that must not be for me to do. But I couldn't have that same mind. I was determined that I was going to be more. I had a responsibility to my children to show them that, in your early 30s, or, late 20s, early 30s, that you could go to school. You could change your
Okay.
life,
Yeah.
because I didn't want them to be dependent upon anyone because they didn't have an education.
Wow. That's that's something to think about. You had to do it for someone else, even if you don't do it for yourself. You got to think of your children. You got to think of more than just you. So, do you find? I guess most of your children are grown now, right?
Yes, they are.
What- Wow. So, is anybody taking on you being like mama?
No, you know what? Not yet.
Not
And I'm
yet. Okay.
still I'm still, holding out, hope. But
Okay.
just to get back and thinking about it, I'm thinking about a time when I had to go to my husband and ask him for money so that I could get deodorant and tampons at the store. And
Watch
when
out,
I
Dana.
did
Wait a
that,
minute.
when I did that, a light bulb came on. And I said to myself, I am never, ever, never, ever going to have to ask.
Was it the same culture shock you had with transitioning out of high school to college the first time? Was it that same culture shock?
No, it wasn't. Because this time I knew that I could accomplish it. If I could be a married mother of four, and I think I could have been like around 27, 28, around about this time, and
Okay.
married for almost like 10 years at that point, there was nothing that I couldn't do. Not a thing. And I wasn't gonna let school or any, course that was a challenge to me overtake me. I wasn't going to let it happen. So if I had to do community in 3 years, which I did it, in less than 2 years, I wasn't going to let it beat me. And that was my mentality. I'm from this moment on, I'm not going to let anything beat me. And that's what I had to do. So I went to school. I did the dual admissions program from community to Temple. Uh, got my my BSW, and started working at the Department of Human Services. I knew I needed more, went back to school and got my master's degree.
Congratulations, sis.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What made
Thank
you
you.
go into that field of human? What you say, domestic?
Department of
And
Human
social work,
Service.
Yeah. How did you get into that? Was that just a job, or is this love for something, or what sent
it
you that way?
was. Before I started back at community, I was working at Temple University as a social worker aide in the family centers.
Okay.
So during that time, the family centers were providing support and prevention services through the community. So whatever the community needed, Temple had this program called the Center for Social Policy and Community Development. I worked with them. So I got to see, what social work was about. I had a friend of mine that was a church member who had graduated with her social work degree. She worked there. She got me the position. I was the before I was a social work aide, I was the administrative assistant. So that encouraged me to go back, to school. Um, and while I was working for Temple, I was able to go and take some classes, there. So that was my plan, was to, go to Temple. But, and like I said, in lieu of my father passing away, I went back to community, started back where I started, and then made that plan to transition, to Temple.
I want to ask something. You mentioned it twice about when your father passed away, and
Mhm.
sometimes when grief come or something happening in the middle of somebody striving or going for something, they lose hope. Some people don't go back; they don't return. How did you navigate through that to muster up? Because I know you was close with your dad because you talked about how he took care of you. How did you find your way through that period and say, I still got to go forward?
Because when my father passed away, because he did everything, that
Hmm.
safety net, that security was gone.
Right.
So I had to sink or swim. I had to learn how to pay a bill
Okay.
continuously, on time, and learn the consequences if I didn't. You know, um, I had to learn it from the ground because I never had to do it before. My father did it all for me, right? So
Yes.
um, I had to learn about paying taxes on a house. Well, what was that? Well, why the house is paid for? You mean you still got to pay the government? Yeah, girl, you still got to do that. You got to do that.
Okay.
Okay. I had to learn how to, transition the bills that were in his name into mine. And so now that my safety net was gone, I'm like, what am I going to do?
Okay.
So if my father could pass away when I wasn't ready, my husband could pass away and I'm not ready. And I'm going to be here in this house trying to raise these four children by myself. So I said, listen, and I said, and look, all these kind of scenarios are going through my mind. I'm like, okay, so if something happened to him, I know, Lord knows, I'm not getting married again. So how am I going to take care of these children all by myself? So the
Wait a
thing
minute, Dana.
was,
Hold up, Dana. Hold up. What you mean
mm,
you knew you weren't gonna
no,
get married
ma'am,
again?
no, ma'am, no, ma'am,
You
no.
had your life figured out. You she had it
Listen,
like
no, unless the Lord can, I need some dirt from heaven. I don't need a man made out of this dirt down here. No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
oh my goodness.
No.
Oh
And I don't even know if
Lord.
they got dirt up there. But I said I'm gonna need some new dirt because you can't give me nothing that's already walking around. So if I got to be by myself and it just be me and Jesus, then that's what,
That was
what
gonna be it.
it will be.
Well, we
Because
got another show coming up for we're gonna have a women's panel. So I hope
mm,
you'll be able to come back and we can have some true talk with some women.
yeah,
All right,
most definitely. So,
I got
and I
you.
mean, as women, we can think of a million things all at one time. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
about my
Right.
security. I'm thinking about my children's security. So the best
Yeah.
way that I knew was to get that education
Right.
and
Right.
then get a career. Never
So you
thinking about
have
a business. It was just get a good education and then, get a good job. If
right.
you're working for the city, you can, have this pension, you're gonna be straight by the time you're 65. You're gonna have this,
Okay.
you're gonna have that, and you don't and, I mean, and those were that was my list, my checklist of everything that I had to do to make sure that I was okay and to make sure, that my children were okay. And that's exactly what I did.
Okay. I want to speak to some some of you who might be listening or come across this podcast. It's very interesting to me that she thought of the future,
Yeah.
like the children, the kids today, and some people our age, they didn't think too much
Hmm.
ahead, and that's awesome to see that you had a plan. It's better to have a plan and have it fail than to fail and don't have you not didn't plan anything. So just talking to those who might be listening to this, have a plan,
Yeah.
write your vision. Um, you never know who's going to be there for you. I might be dependent on you, but your life is not guaranteed. My life is not guaranteed. So that's what I'm getting out of hearing.
Yeah.
Have something.
And that's that part.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
yeah,
She was used to her father.
right. Yeah, we know
So
that,
she
right?
didn't think about
Yeah,
anything, but when he passed,
yeah,
then she had to, what am I going to do?
right,
At least what I'm thankful she could do something,
right,
because some people, well, you know how mommy was when daddy passed, she
right.
wouldn't know
Yeah,
the
my mom didn't know. She didn't bill. He took care of everything. So
everything.
to give her a bill and tell her what had need to be done, she was lost, Dana,
Mm.
because she
Mm.
depended on that man for how many years? 60, 50 something years. So you never thought of this day coming.
and
So that's
and that's something that maybe on another podcast we could talk to. Don't lose.
you.
Yeah, don't lose you.
Yeah,
And all the
Mm.
time, what we do for our kids, we think we are benefiting them and doing right by them, but if we don't train them,
right.
we don't train them for their absence. At least she could pick up and go do something.
Yeah,
But
so your mom and
some
dad,
people,
somebody did a good job because you thought there's a lot of uh parents and stuff, they baby them, but they don't train them to
right?
one day you have to pay rent, one day you have to do taxes, whatever that is. So
Mm.
kudos to you and kudos to your parents and the upbringing that you had. A lot of people don't think ahead like that, so that's a plus, man. That's great. So Gail, I'm gonna get back to this vacation because I'm getting ready to take me. I'm going to Dubai. Okay, Dana. I'm going somewhere. I think recreation and getting away is important. I'm not. I know I'm saying it funny, but like she said, it's a stress level release.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know need to take a break. I'm not saying you have to go somewhere far or do
Mhm.
something, but sometimes doing something different can change the
Right.
atmosphere. And like I got on a cruise, Dana. I didn't think I would get on
Okay.
water. Yeah. So I'm gonna be talking to you and Gail. I'm gonna schedule me something else. But I just I just think
Yes.
it's important for your health.
It is. I
Mm.
remember being a property manager, and the doctor gave me a prescription for one of my residents because his apartment didn't have any windows, but he gave me a prescription to change his room to at least he could see movement on Broad Street. He could see people going up and down, Broad Street, regardless of what they was doing. He needed more than just looking at some empty walls, and
Mm.
that's what travel, you know, uh, it broadens your horizon, help you to see other things than North Philly.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah. Mhm. I had never, first time on a plane was when I started, working, at, at DHS, and I was, in my early 30s. I didn't have a passport. Like it never entered my mind to go on a plane to go somewhere. I was, happy going to Wildwood, every year. You know, that look, that was vacation. We gonna hop in
Yeah,
the car
yeah,
and we
Yeah,
gonna go to
yeah.
Wildwood and we gonna, spend a week or, spend the weekend. And, that was vacation. Like I didn't need a passport, so but when I started working and got around a lot of educated women like myself, and they were talking about, or we're going to the Dominican Republic and we're gonna go here. And I'm just sitting there like, what? The only place I've been is, Jersey. I've been to Georgia like maybe once, but that was a drive. That's too far. I'm not want to be in no car for no 13 hours to be going, to Georgia. And, I'm here now, but I flew down here, you know?
Right.
So when you come out of your comfort zone and you can see, what other people are doing, that enables you to take off the limits.
Yes.
My
Yes.
coworkers, they went to Dubai and in Egypt a couple of years before I did. And I said, I'm going to be 50. What would I want to do? And I prayed, I always pray and ask the Lord, can I go here? Can I go there? Because I don't want to be, somewhere I shouldn't be if something about to go down, so I got to get permission. I got to get I got to know because,
You gotta stay prayerful.
the Lord is infamous for destroying cities. Okay. And I don't want to be in none of them cities, okay, that you about to show up and have your hand come and handle the situation. So, I got to ask for, I got to get permission to make sure everything's gonna
But,
be
but,
okay.
but Dana, what he did though, when he knew there was some righteous in the city, he gave them a warning to get out, and then you
Listen,
just don't look back so you don't turn to a pillar of salt. You know what I'm saying? Just get
look,
out.
I could be on a cruise and and look, somebody up on that boat not doing what they supposed to do. I said, listen, y'all better read your Bible. The Lord do not play. Because if something happened, I'm gonna need you to make sure you get the right fish to come get me and make sure I'm okay. I'm saying, listen, I I pray before I go the plane or wherever
Yeah,
I'm staying. I pray when I get there, and I'm praying, when I leave. I was just like, listen.
yeah.
I'm look be having so much fun. I can't hear, girl, don't get on that boat. Girl, don't go to that beach. And I ain't paying attention. So I'm gonna need,
Right.
I need some grace, when I go somewhere. But um just, pick a place where, you haven't been. Like when I went to India, like somebody asked me, well, why do you want to go to India? I was like, because I've never been there.
Okay.
I had a coworker who went, I saw her pictures, and I was like, Lord, can I go to India? And it was like, well, why not?
So
And
just as
and you know, and that's
different
what I did.
things. Yeah, so there's experiencing different things sometimes. She laughed, she still laughs at you, David. She said that you didn't want to get caught in the sin where the sin was at, right? When
Listen,
something was going on. Oh my goodness. But this is
look,
good. I think that to see another side to vacationing. Some people just want to get away, but when you have something behind it or it's for a reason, I think that's great. I think everybody deserved to get away. I know when we was my dad used to take us a lot to a lot of places, but like you said, it was Georgia, where we went, Jersey. I think that's what Pennsylvania, and we thought that was something. So when you can
yeah,
learn that
North
there's
Philly
something
kids, you
bigger
going to
than your
Jersey and you
look
going to,
around.
to Wildwood or the Great Adventure, and you're going down south and going. Look, that's a lot because most of the kids, first of all, we were the families who had fathers in the home. It wasn't. We can probably count on
Right,
one hand
right.
within our neighborhood or within a certain
Yeah.
radius of our block that had fathers in the home,
Two parents home. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we were, the I don't want to say lucky ones, but the blessed ones that didn't know, that we were, poor because, all of our needs and things were met. And it was, normal for us to have our fathers in the home. It didn't not never occur to us, you know, how the lives of our friends were impacted by not having, a father in the home.
Right.
So
Right.
what we would consider, everything going to Jersey or going, to Georgia, most kids didn't do that. It was just
Right.
summer camp or play street during the summer. And that was it.
That was it. Right. So we was blessed, and I'm thankful to this day for that, having a dad in the home. I know a lot of people didn't, but that was a blessing, um, to have that. Gil, anything else you could think of since she's over here laughing? You really got her laughing really hard, Dana, about this. She said she never thought about that, like praying while she was in the city that the Lord don't
She
come in
said
there.
she don't want to be having so much fun she'll hear.
She can't even hear him, right?
Listen,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
ma'am.
So, is there a way people could get in touch with you, or how you schedule as a what is it?
Travel advisor,
Travel
travel
advisor?
agent.
Travel
Is that
advisor, sure.
yeah?
They can, you guys can email me at ttpinfo365@gmail.com. So if you want to
Okay.
know anything about travel, I can, forward you that information. We can have a conversation. If you're interested in knowing, Dana, what is a travel advisor? What does a travel advisor, do? And just even hearing the title can be overwhelming. But as with anything, it's a process. And it can be very enjoyable. So travel is possible, even if you think that it's not. It is. It really is. So, in 27, I'm taking, my son Dana. He'll be 30 next year. So I'm gonna go
Wow.
back to
Wow.
Egypt. We're gonna go back to Egypt. Well, I'm gonna go back to Egypt because when I was there, they were transitioning all of the relics to the new museum. So I was able
Okay.
to see the old museum. So when I go back, I'm gonna see all the relics in the new museum. Then we're gonna go ahead and take the boat down the Nile to Luxor, to go see the temples at Karnak. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And in March, I'm gonna go to Nepal.
Wow. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
before we let you go, I want to know: have you been to the Jordan River?
No, I have not.
Okay.
However, it may be a possibility when at some point in the future, but I'm looking to when I'm in Aswan, when I'm in Egypt, to go and see the Red Sea.
Okay.
So it's not
Okay.
going to be that far. So it is a possibility that if I don't see it from the land, I may see it from the air.
Okay. Well, the
So
Red Sea
that,
is the Red Sea is fine because that holds significance too. So you make sure you take a plenty of pictures. You come back and we have another discussion with where you've been next year.
yes,
You say
ma'am, I
27,
got you.
right? Okay.
27.
So you finished this year, or you got some more plans for this year?
I am done. I think for this year, I'm trying to get some things together for school to get my PhD. So I think I'm done vacationing for right now. For 26, unless I just go somewhere locally, hop on a cruise, since they have the that Norwegian is here now in Philadelphia, so it's easier and more
Yeah.
economical. So if I want to get a quick getaway, I can just hop on one of the Norwegian ships and go to the Caribbean, Bermuda,
Let
and
me
come
ask you
back.
something about that now. If you catch the one in Philadelphia, you have to go on a 7 day cruise. It's
You
not a
don't
weekend.
you don't have to go on a 7 day. They'll have a 5 day, a 3 or 4 day. You just have to go on to Norwegian, pick Philadelphia as your departure, and see what's available. So you don't have to go for
Oh,
7 days if you don't want to. No.
okay. Because somebody told me if you catch the one in Philly, you have to do 7 days. I'm like, I'm not gonna be out there no 7 days. I do three. But
You do
okay.
three. Well, let me tell you this. By the third day is really when you start to really, enjoying the cruise. I mean, 7 days you wouldn't even feel it. I mean, I did a transatlantic for over 20 days.
But
You won't
Dana,
you won't even know.
I was stationed on a ship, right? I know it's totally different, but they kept me out there for 29 days. So I'm not a fan of being on the water. I really have motion sickness. I get seasick. So that's why I picked a shorter time. For some reason I can't do a lot of on the water because I get seasick. So I done
Yeah,
took the
me
Trampoline,
too.
I done took everything. But so that's why I keep going for the 3 days. But I'm willing to try it again. But Gil, you got
Okay, well
anything else that you want to say to her, ex her? She done made my night for just thank God that we know the Lord, so there's a Christian that still believe in praying and having fun. So you don't a lot of people think because you in God that there is no fun, there's no liberty. Man, oh, just go and just don't forget him.
Yeah,
Pray and step out and see the world. He made this world just as big for you as he did for everybody else. So enjoy what he created.
yeah,
That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
Mhm. And you
But
don't have
Dana,
to wait
thank
until
you.
the new Earth come. You can come see the old. I said I want to see this one first, and then he can let me know and see the new one. But I want to go and see what this one look like first.
I got you. All right. You see the Dana funny. But tell the family we say hello,
I
and
will.
I'm gonna get that women conference together for us to talk, and I'm
Okay.
praying that you'll be part of it. And until then, thank you for honoring us to come on just to talk a little bit and share
Mhm.
what you're into. I always like to have more information than
yeah,
we on here, but we're not experts. So we call together all my sisters and brothers and everybody share and we'll get to know a lot, right? What you don't
That's
know,
right.
you teach me. What I don't know, I can hear what you got to share. So now we know India, Dubai, the Red Sea, you can see it all.
See
Egypt
it all.
Contact Miss Dana Hill Stanford.
is the other way,
It's the other
JC.
way around. Okay. Dana Stanford
Stanford.
Hill. Dana, don't
Yeah.
laugh because I never changed my last name. Okay, so I got to get used to saying it right and correctly. Love you, sis. Have a
You
good
too.
evening,
I
and we thank
will.
you. All right.
Thank you
Don't be
so
a
much.
stranger.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am. All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye. So there you have it, Gail. Thank God you always get to get your laugh in. We praise God for you. Um, what all did you get out of? And you won big on restoration. I mean, taking vacation and doing that. So what else could you add to?
It's life. It's healthy life. Uh, Getting beyond your boundaries
Hmm.
and your neighbor. Just going beyond what you do. Um, I'm always going to be reminded of the scripture. Peter and them was fishing, but Jesus told them to launch out into the deep and drop your net.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to get away from your neighborhood, out of your city, go somewhere else where
Yeah.
you can learn and see something different.
Yeah. And it is good for your mind. I know change the scenery, sometimes quarters and things
Yeah,
cluster, and sometimes you don't know that's a picture of how your mind. So getting out to
yeah.
do something else,
New
get
things,
away. Yeah,
new things,
yeah,
new people.
yeah,
Just the excitement about even preparing.
yes.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole
So
thing.
we're not gonna keep long tonight, but I want to know if you had any parting words, or anything you want to say, because I think we have another uh, podcast we have to do. So I enjoyed the talk. I
Yeah,
always enjoy learning new things, and seeing what other people, how they get this. You both can be doing the same thing, but
yeah,
you have different views on it. So just to know that a mother by 27 with 4 children
yeah.
and married, and now you still can live the life. So it's never over.
No.
It's never
Where
over.
there's life, there's hope.
Keep it
And
going.
if you can see it, you can believe it,
Yeah.
you can achieve it.
Yes.
It's nobody stops you but you.
That's right.
Anything you want to do, you
Yeah.
put your mind to do
You
it,
can do it.
you can do it. It even encouraged me even the more
Yeah.
because it's a mind thing.
Yeah.
Uh, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It give me even the more encouragement that I can live with a disability.
Right.
I can still see the world. I can
Yeah.
still travel.
And you've been doing that
Yeah.
with the disability. So don't let nothing
Can you
stop
see
you.
me in Egypt on a camel?
I don't think I want to see that with you on the camera, but you might try it. Knowing you and your husband, you'll be on the camera, the elephant and the donkey. And, I will pick up and
He
pass you
said
off.
he do it exceedingly and abundantly. But
Okay.
what you
Well, let me tell you something. I tried getting on a horse. I went horseback riding, Gail. This was in my younger days in Mississippi. I was in PN school, personnel school in the military, and I'm going to try this horse. I was scared to death, but I tried it. The horse got me a little bit down the road, and he lifted up on his hind feet and threw me off. I mean, he kept on until I fell off. I walked back to the stable. The horse was already back there. He beat me. They knew the path. And I asked the man, said, "You know what it was, right?" He knew you were scared of him. The horse sensed my fear. So I'm giving you this advice. If you get up on the camel, the elephant, whatever you want to do, don't get up there frightened, because I don't want to see nothing else happen to you that you don't got thrown off of these animals, okay? So just remember that. Be brave. Put your big, you know, brave up, because they sense. And I know you scared of cats and everything else. So I don't know how you're gonna get on the camel. So I would like to see it. But anyway,
I said, can you imagine me? I didn't say I was
well,
gonna do it.
sometimes with your imagination, you start doing stuff, you make it come to life. But y'all, we thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And next week, it's gonna be interesting. Show back up. We're trying to get some interesting things just to give you another view of life. Okay? Spread your wings.
Yeah.
All right. So as we always end our podcast and saying, love
Love
God,
God, love
love family,
family,
work
work
hard,
hard,
and
and be
be
kind.
kind.